actually watching it. They can't see it. They're locked in. They're in the server. They're ready to go. They always find a way to perform. I'm expecting that from Turd. I think this could be his pop-off game against a team like Fury. Look, at the end of the day, when it comes to Asia, what makes this region so exciting is there's only one slot. You can see down below as well. Please note, of course, Scopos is currently quarantined from play. We will not be seeing the new operator, but Mr. Guz, Mr. Gurry, we will be seeing the other changes, of course, from the patch that happened last night. So, Nook, Dokkaebi, Solus, to name a couple, of course, some changes for tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Intrigued to see what impact that will have on the meta. It does mean that we may see less Dokkaebi bans throughout this evening, and we won't see it here in map number 1. Of course, her 2 calls are now distributed across the round. You get the first 45 seconds in, and then the second 45 seconds after that, potentially making map entry a little bit more challenging for the attack. As for Nook, the meter now only goes down when you're moving or doing other certain particular actions, so you can now actually be stationary and visible to cam, so that's, you know, a pretty significant buff and may lead to pretty good lurk potential on the Nook. And then as for Solus, well, she's basically been hit with a nuclear bomb. That's the easiest way to describe it. So Solus is probably going to be out of the meta for quite some time. Basement go though for round 1, Fury on the defense for a match that should be quite tantalizing.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only match tonight that was really split between the talent in terms of predictions. I'm trying to just also go and have a look. Usually there's a poll up on Twitch to get the viewers, but I can't see it or I can't get it. I don't know, maybe I'm just old and I can't navigate the interwebs.
You are in your 30s.
I am. Fury on defense first as well. I mean, the onus is certainly going to be on them to start well here defensively as always. No shocker, Clubhouse. I'm anticipating some change-ups in terms of, say, you know, Dokkaebi's usage. We know that in previous times it was a great way to help facilitate entries with things like Logic Bomb to clear out roamers. I'm expecting if it does see play tonight, it will be more akin to late round executions to be a nuisance to those maybe holding on-site positions. And for Bleed, well, all eyes definitely on Turd, but as a team, a big task against the Fury roster that have shown previously they've got the capabilities of taking down this Bleed roster. Just not always at the most pivotal time. Cast our minds back to the grand final of stage 1, and it very well could have been a 2-0 to Fury. They lost that second map 8-6, and as we know, the third map went the way of Bleed 7-1, booking their place in Manchester. A chance at redemption for Fury, albeit it is only, of course, a regular playday. It is not the be-end-all in this match, but a good taste of maybe what this stage could bring for us.
Top floor roam then, and Dark gets caught. Freebie for Hoven. Dark under a little bit of pressure and just falls into that line of sight recklessly. Good start for Bleed, not having to necessarily expend a ton of utility really to get that clear. That is sort of the instance where we would maybe see the Dokkaebi in play, but not the case here for the first round. Crit J, the star player for Fury, finds himself now on a bit of an island. Rotation could be cut here by Turd. Smoke though to force him back, so good teamwork there alongside I9, and Fury can now look to fall back to site, but they are a player down.
Still decent drone economy as well for Bleed. Upper player, like you mentioned. Gasbeb's been used early if you're I9, so Fury not in a great position in this open ground. Good clear from Bleed. Still got some very important pieces of utility as well. Hoven on the Capital with both the Incendiary and the Smoke available. He will very much do the due diligence though of clearing out even still top floor with a minute 12 remaining. Despite the fact they've certainly got some kitchen control. Reaps on the Ram can get the Boogie Auto breaches in, and as evidented by our wonderful ops team, it has already seen the floors opened up. Still hatches though not open. All 3, in fact, guys, under a minute are still closed. Yes, we see them getting worked on now, but in terms of timing, a little bit on the slower side.
Yeah, 45 seconds then. Bleed though should have a good position once they open the hatch to go for a drop and trade out these picks, like Halls as well. Forced back now on 9 HP. Probably still some denial utility up for the defense. Nitro Cell already expended though by Crit J. I9 under pressure from Moto Hatch, but wins the fight. Crit J in the meantime also wins his, so the SMG is activating here for Fury. And Bleed now find themselves on the back foot.
I'd be quite staggered if Bleed end up winning this round. Reefs just through Moto, able to just swing out Dry Peak, gets the kill onto Iron9, leader by himself in through Blue. Although cut off by the Flames, it will no longer allow him to move forward. There's no time, no one has the diffuser, therefore it's a round win for Fury. A very lackluster way to finish off the opening round of this game. Yeah, Bleed got off to a decent start, good man advantage. I thought they actually had decent utility. Drone economy was great. Everything seemed like it was going their way. And they just grind to a halt. Quite lackluster in terms of their pacing. Couldn't get open the hatches in time. Honestly, a little bit disappointing for all intents and purposes, guys. I expected a bit more from them. Even the slightest whiff of pressure there from Fury. Lovely double kill in the middle portion of the round, but Bleed just honestly looked a little bit lost.
Yeah, really good mid to late round regress there from Fury. The back-to-back SMG kills from positions where undoubtedly the Bleed players on the receiving end would have been question marking internally a little bit as to how and why those players found themselves in the positions in which they did. But Fury took a calculated risk. They probably sensed that a 5 versus 4 for a pretty classic execute, especially over towards a kitchen hatch drop, was not going to be favorable for them, especially once Locolas took a hit. So I like that from Fury. They didn't sort of sit back and wait. They instead took a pretty calculated risk and sent it in that round, and it stuck. So good work defensively. I Bleed will need to clue into that ability for Fury to react mid-round, because to their, I guess, a negative in their column has been that their first 2 games were against South Asia, so the quality of opposition hasn't quite been there, and certainly not to the same level as Fury, and even their international experience is a completely different meta to Asia, so they get a bit of leeway to kick off this game attacking as well. But the best of the best need to switch on quickly.
Yeah, no cause for alarms just yet by any means. Jacuzzi going to get opened up pretty comfortably here. No contest, despite the fact there is a bandit. It's all the way over towards CCTV. With that, Selma as well. Bathroom can certainly get opened up as well. Good sight pressure. Mentalist, okay, gets an angle. Lycolas got caught over towards Jim. 2 rounds in a row in which the attacking team of Bleed have been able to find an opening kill. And double down for Reefs. Nice through the window. Crit J will fall. The Starman for Fury in the grave, and suddenly with still 2 minutes to play, it's a huge advantage now for Bleed in this round on still one of the primary sites of Clubhouse. Jim Bedroom is insanely vulnerable. It's going to take a huge effort. I don't know about a solo peek from BG Manning through Jim. I just don't think that's going to happen. Bleed have barely stepped inside of the building. In fact, another kill from the exterior as Turd gets in on the party. It's a solo dark through stage, and the round is forfeit.
That was disappointing from Fury, but Bleed punish. Didn't have to work particularly hard for that round. Almost every kill, or in fact every kill netted so far from the exterior of the building. The round is all but over now. Dark and the team can use this as an opportunity to reset, and he can save you stats, but disappointing from Fury. They've gone from first round, where their regress was quite well calculated, very well executed, to round number 2, where they're taking risks that are far too extreme. Peeking outside like that with limited info and not really a whole lot of pressure on site to be forcing their hand was intriguing. Well punished by Bleed, and round 2 is theirs.
Yeah, I mean, for match of the day, for arguably, as always, throughout the regular season of Asia match of the stage, Fury and Bleed, it's been a disappointing start in the opening 2 rounds for 2 juggernauts of the region. Both can play better. For Fury in that round, sure, I mean, like the opening kill, and even this one here from Crit J, although the way he's kind of toggling around there on main is just strange. That there from BG, man, you can't forgive that. You know it's a vulnerable position. Again, even that there from I9 trying to just go for another dry peek. It's just like 3 deaths in a row there for Fury. Just blind dry peeks around the corner trying to just see if you can get lucky. And Bleed are just stacked, absolutely stacked of players out there on Jacuzzi. Are always going to be able to win those kind of engagements. So 1-1. An early attacking round for Bleed bodes well for them as we are on Clubhouse. And over to Cash and CCTV, rather than looking to run it back for Fury, to double down on Jim Bedroom, they opt for the tertiary site instead. I don't know if that was a ping check, but pings are all good. APAC South days. And not between these two teams. No issues here.
Yeah. No, we're definitely not playing on UAE North this evening.
No, we're not. We're not.
Which is good. Blitz repick though here into round 3. Shield's a hot talking point at the moment, and interesting to note that they have both snuck through the ban phase for this match. And this could be a full breach stack from Bleed, potentially. We'll wait and see, but the way that Mentalist is posturing at the moment suggests that he might be looking to get very aggressive here. Typically, you'd be posting up the shield over towards a garage rafters clear, but not the case at the moment.
So straight in. No surprise in this current meta to see the Blitz play to try and overload top rafters position. It works out for Mentalist, but they lose to others. So Fury still with the man advantage, despite the garage control that has now been acquired for Bleed. They are down a player. They did lose one. Thatcher, Flores, to be fair, at this point in the round, arguably not needed, but the numbers, yeah, more so than anything. Once this main bridge is opened up, Thatcher's role now certainly is no longer as required. Little overview showing full well that everyone is top red. Cash. No real map control. There's no one lurking down below for Fury, playing lounge, going for a rotate over towards main and con side instead. They're just going to play back a site, anticipating for a straight push through default plant. Big thing to be mindful of for Fury really from here is going to be Nitrocell. So easy to get those up and over the server rack and yeah, look to dislodge anyone going for a plant.
Yeah, I9 and Dark likely still have theirs pocketed. We do apologize, there is some kind of issue with the UI at the moment, so new patch things. I believe probably expecting that are going to actually look to rotate around this time. Default risky. Con now under pressure. Keep a barrier to stall things out. But there is a player close, like Hollis on the Azami side of construction. Frag grenade to try and clear. Like Hollis is repositioned, but able to do some good damage onto Mentalist as he tries to fall off.
Big kill for Leader. They absolutely needed that one, but he kept himself walking towards Cash, maybe wanting to help out with the pinch in towards Con. Fury coming up big. They lost Garage very early on, but it did not matter for Fury. Held their positions back of sight, and in the end, tertiary of Cash and CCTV goes their way, despite the little onslaught at the start through main breach and the Blitz play towards Garage. Yeah, that worked, but nothing else really worked for Bleed. Fury holds strong. I mean, there's not much to it right now. It really does kind of feel to and fro between these two teams, both throwing their best punches. Church, Arsenal to follow going into the 4th round.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Yeah, Fury keeping pace nicely in that previous round. Bleed looking to aggress through breach. Didn't quite get as much value as I otherwise would have liked. Mentalist struggled to get activated on the Blitz. Default plant then incredibly risky with double nitro. Presumably still up as well late in the piece. I liked the idea there from Bleed very late into the round to rotate, but unfortunately for them, damage already done. And if you reacted accordingly, so a solid match of Siege thus far between the two Titans of Asia. Of course, it is just a best of one, and there's a very high likelihood both of these teams will qualify for playoffs, if not in the top 2, but still a good feel for both rosters to see where each other is at. And another full roam here from Fury on this basement site. Last time, Bleed pretty eager to clear, got a freebie in through connector or construction last time around. I'm expecting though this time for Fury to be a bit tighter offside.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, as always with these two, it's really just a matter of trying to avoid each other in the playoffs for as long as possible, and that being until the grand final. To do that, you finish 1, you finish 2. Or at the very least, you know, avoid each other on the other side of the bracket. But if you don't finish 2, you definitely want to finish 3. Which, for a team like Fury, it would be really strange if they don't finish 2nd or 3rd, for example. Vice versa for Bleed, if they don't finish 1st. You would imagine it would be 2nd or 3rd. So it'll be very odd if these two end up on the same side of the bracket. For that to happen, one would have to be first and the other fourth. As Mentalist is downed outside, he will be fine. He'll get brought back up, but low on health here on Alpha.
Take a calculated guess that he fell off the roof, that he wasn't shot from the rappel. I think he was holding the line through Con, but Dark was long gone by that point in time. Alongside the rest of his team now in basement, so it is effectively clear for Bleed. I'll just need to drone once more to confirm that, take the space, get to Vert, or get to work on Vert with the Ram. Looking to aggress again. We saw this last time around on basement through the mid round, where Fury, particularly with SMG, has found good success re-peeking up above through Vert, so Bleed need to ensure that they don't get complacent and try to continue through this checklist. Thatcher available and range hard breach if they want to attack triple wall. Currently is electrified by the Kaid. In terms of Vert though, no real troubles. The Ram making easy work of the floorboards. Hatch still standing though. And the next portion of the round will indicate as to exactly what Bleed want to go for. If they attack that hatch, if they want to go for maybe a moto drop, which is open. Blue also an option. So
I will say,
Kitchen might not be the play.
If you think about kitchen drops, right? How often do they actually work out? Getting that hatch opened up, maybe in this current era of Siege, is no longer something that teams and players really care about. The kitchen drop is just so difficult to actually succeed. So many players holding, say, Dirt, back of Arsenal. Good opening kill for Reaps. Cyanide will lose his life. That's the smoke gone. No more gas babes to delay. 20 seconds left. Make their way over towards Moto. Barbed wire to be dealt with, along with the Vulcan canister, and the drop from Reaps is successful. Triple getting opened up. Flash in towards Church. Not a lot of time. Keep an eye on Turd. In towards Moto, and he's got himself the kit. Another kill for Reaps. 2 in this one. Crit J can still make a huge impact.
Oh.
Indeed he does. The double kill. Not a lot of time. Can he get the down and the kill onto Turd? Had he won that, it would have been incredibly winnable for Fury. There would have been 3 seconds left. He would have just had to hide. I don't know if anyone else was close by to his vicinity, but Bleed will win out just barely. They take a huge second attacking round. And we continue back and forth between these two teams.
Yeah, better brute force there from Bleed in the late round. And it had to be, as Fury's early round was far cleaner. Better roam clear, didn't lose that player for free. But that pressure from triple wall ended up being too difficult in order for the defense to withstand. So, yeah, good work. They were exposed to a lot of different positions, had to play overly aggressive defensively, but Bleed were far more clued in that time around. Looked really sharp, weren't allowing themselves to get picked away or traded away, and then even that real late threat up close on the default plant was also dealt with pretty well. So, they continue to trade rounds here, and we go back to bedroom. Casting our minds back last time we saw this site selected from Fury, it was a bit of a disaster. We saw the wall get opened up, the main breach, over towards Jacuzzi. And Fury continued to peek, over peek, feed ones, lose every single fight.
5 seconds to go.
And Bleed essentially won it from outside. This time around, expecting it to be a little bit more controlled from the defense. And there may also be a more active effort to deny the wall with Bandit.
So the little mishap for Mentalist in the last round proving to, not matter in the end. Fortunate for Bleed and Co. as they get themselves into a really good position now in this first half that they can put some solid attacking rounds on the board. So Jacuzzi, Dark to try and counter with the shockwave batteries, and will do so comfortably. I don't know if that was just a super lax effort from Bleed, maybe not anticipating the juggle, but they will get denied momentarily.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
I like this from Reaps. Over towards main, frag grenades to clear the barbed wire. This is a really good lurk threat. Especially if the wall gets opened, he's in a good position, but it just, he immediately gets shut down because said wall is still closed. Like, Hollis can post up top main and wins the fight.
Did he throw his Selma too early? I'm almost convinced he threw his Selma too early. I mean, we'll get a replay on that one, I'm sure, but they've completely cooked that wall. And only bringing the one hard breach certainly makes it a lot more difficult. We see so many teams and their ability to say, bring double hard breach, left side, right side, make it difficult for the Bandit. Definitely something we saw a lot of in Asia last week. 4 versus 4. Jacuzzi will be, well, staying reinforced for Fury. This makes the round now a lot more difficult for Bleed. It's going to have to be a con push. They got a little bit of pressure here from Leader, who's made his way up towards Logistics Hatch. This needs to be a kill and a big pinch in towards Logistics. Turd outside on the balcony, playing the exterior. Yellow ping, easy kill onto BG Man. Can they take position and control of this area of the map? Still time, but I9 kill onto Mentalist. That's your Montag. That's your shield. How is that even allowed to happen? And now watching the Hatch, Leader taking a 1v1 against Lycolis. They need to push site. They need to now grab the diffuser and find the ability to push in. Turdster, can he open things up here from the gym window?
No diffuser. They've left the diffuser on the roof. They have to go for kills.
Oh, well, this is, yeah, they're going to have to kill everyone. Turd can't win the fight, and suddenly this is looking like a lost round. 20 seconds for Hoven to find the last 2 remaining players of Fury. With little time remaining, it now stands to be little chance of a round win. Bleed have absolutely cooked this round up. No need to peek there if you're like Lycolis in the end, but he is able to just hold his position. I guess just wanting to watch the cross. If anything, actually, the player at the Jacuzzi wall doesn't need to peek there. You've got a player watching main stairs on the cross. Doesn't really matter in the end. Shenanigans aside, Bleed absolutely threw that round away. So well, yeah, okay, that was... So I'm almost certain he's thrown it too early.
Yep.
Yeah.
There, yeah,
right.
there's
That's like the broken clock is right twice a day, guys.
There were some major issues in that round. Yeah, Monty just walked straight through Con, got caught in the cross. Diffuser got stranded on roof. Nobody had it, not that it ultimately mattered. Fury still managed to almost cook the round. Like Lycolis then very narrowly just wins out the 1 versus 1. So Bleed's still able to chip away and almost find the win con in the end by another brute force. But bedroom for both teams has had its ups and downs, to put it lightly. Fury, they're out on top that time around with just a couple of big fundamentals falling short there from Bleed, which is unusual. Fury now in the box position though for a 4-2 lead with another basement opportunity here. They've been leaning heavily into full map roams in their 2 attempts so far. They don't bring the Valkyrie this time around. Dark now onto the Warden. That would suggest that he's probably going to play a little bit more of an anchor role. And especially with the Goyo in play as well, that could be an option. Although as I say, that Crit J also starting off over towards top red with the mute in play to try and stall out info gathering.
Oh, well, Hoven is absolutely convinced there's a player there. Could try and keep them trapped in, but instead BG Man will be able to get back successfully out of Oil Pit and even got a tiny bit of damage onto Hoven. So 3-2, Fury with a very slight edge. It's probably the best way to summarize, I think, this first half, guys, as we look to close it up here in the 6th round. That Fury are just edging this one out. You spoke about it in the off air before we began. There's a lot of edging tonight with all of the talent predictions. And this game certainly feels like it's got an element of that.
Yeah, I can't disagree, Jake. I can't disagree. Crit J over towards Jim, so the roam persists. Does Hoven have a read? Body language suggests that no, he doesn't.
IED scanning.
Unless there's a drone to clear Jim, it has not been checked by Bleed. And so Crit J now in a perfect position to flank late round. Bleed, yeah, don't know. I'm almost certain. Hoven's already pushed down main. Nobody else is droning that position. And so if Crit J finds the perfect window here for this flank, ensures that he doesn't go too early and gets caught with bad timing, and also doesn't go too late and bait his team too much, he should be good for a couple of kills here.
Gotta reload.
All eyes on Crit J later in this round. 60 seconds remaining. Great shot through the floor, but not really finding a whole lot once again in this kitchen position for Bleed throughout this half. It certainly hasn't boded well for them from here. Kai Claw still needs to be dealt with. Once again, it's looking like a pretty similar attack. Last time out was successful though. Moto dropped a bit earlier this time from Reaps off the double flash. Haven't really got to work on triple just yet.
Crit J.
Hoven with the opening kill. J from main. Makes his way down, gets the kill onto Dirt. Great trade though from Mentalist. He was switched on as he was trying to open up triple. Tried, didn't though. It does stay reinforced. Good swing again. Hoven in through blue. Successful. Gives Bleed a momentary advantage. Down the hallway, Lycolis gets shut down by Reaps. Leader to find a third. And all of these basement hits from Bleed, while the prep work beforehand maybe didn't look amazing, the on-site hits have been great. They get a third attacking round. And now I feel like they take the edge going into the second half as they get to play defense.
Yep, the ace up the sleeve there from Fury. Crit J on the roam, only able to find one pick. Didn't disrupt that push and that pressure in towards site enough. The trade main from the ace, absolutely spot on. That was the pivotal point of the round. Whoever wins that fight is more than likely going to go on and snowball the round win. It was Bleed on that occasion, and doing so with 3-3 very respectable from them, attacking into club. With a rather favourable attacking veto though, with both shields still up, Dokkaebi as well, even in her current state. So see Fury lean into that meta, although initial picks indicating that might not be the case, at least for the basement. Well, we said all eyes on Turd heading into this match. He was highlighted in the pre-show. And once again, he finds himself bottom fragging for Bleed. And I think I've been pretty compassionate towards him, especially in the first two matches against South Asia. Maybe the second match was a little less dominant, but overall they looked strong in both games. That's where you can maybe pull the excuse that not all players are necessarily needed in those matches, but here against Fury, this is his opportunity to prove himself and prove everybody else that his position on this roster is tenable. And he has a pretty important role here, round 7, and aggressive Azami over towards the Raja Rafters, so let's see how he goes.
Yeah, it feels like a big second half coming up. Really feels like a big stage for Turd to try and turn things around at an individual level. Well, it's not ideal if you're like Aldous. Yes, stays alive, but now very low on health. Easy entry for Crit J over towards Jacuzzi. If he so chooses to, instead just plays the repel for now, maybe anticipating pressure on the defense from Bleed. We are down below. Just still trying to make an entry point. Eventually to get over towards Kitchen, open up the floorboards. Really taking their time right now, Fury just getting inside of the map. I9, a couple of targets that he can use with the death mark. Leader going for a lurk down through lounge. Never mind, just slips in towards Secret to Blue. And barring Reaps, everyone is on site. Reaps, though, stays above. Top main, death mark. This is a little bit tricky now. Reaps could get a bit nervous. He's being tracked by the Deimos that can get called out. They know there's at least one above.
Reaps needs to try and hold on for as long as he possibly can. Continue to get out that Guman utility as well. Fury will need to be decisive here. Only 60 seconds left in the round, and Crit J is going to lurk down main. Sees the feed of one, but doesn't land enough shots.
I mean, you can keep death marking him, but at some point you're going to have to eventually engage. Otherwise, he's going to emulate what we saw from Crit J in the last round. Come down main late round, get a couple of kills in the back. Fury, though, they get the opening one. Leader will fall. A low HP Reaps on the roam, stuck up second floor. Hoven, half health. Suddenly Fury with a chance to take the opening round of the second half. That's a small peek from Mentalist. The crab walk around the corner, shut down by Dark. Triple's got an entry point. You can go through Moto. 30 seconds. Honestly, a lot for Turd to do inside a church. Full health. He has to be the one to stand up in a round like this. Reaps slow and sure to make his way towards Kitchen, but I9 was clued on the entire time. He knew exactly what he needed to do. Flawless round for Fury. Incredibly well worked, well played round. And they get themselves once again the lead, and we just keep going back and forth. Neither of these two able to gain any kind of separation.
Yeah, I really like the utilization of the Deimos there. especially if Dokkaebi is going to fall more out of favor for the attack, I expect that Deimos is only going to increase in popularity. Focus your drone util on hunting down a roamer or two and then deathmark them either so you can help clear them, or what we saw in that particular round, prevent them from going for a flank until really late into the round. And if you're able to then find valuable picks elsewhere, which Fury did, then it's just as easy as making sure that flank position is being held. If you have a player or two advantage, you can invest into that. And Reaps was forced to make a play, but Fury rightly had the angle held, so good work from the attack. Each site plays out quite differently here on Club. Big top floor room for basement.
10 seconds
It's
remaining.
been quite popular for both teams, but here over towards the bedroom,
5
the option
seconds.
does arise for Fury to be a little bit more direct.
Attackers' objective is
Composition
to
that they're
locate a
bringing
bomb
is
and defuse it.
certainly something. Monty finally makes an appearance for them. I say finally, it is the second round, but maybe anticipated it on basement. Either way, though, the shield now is brought. But the Mav as well to help aid over towards Jacuzzi. Maybe even CC if required. But the Kali as well. Bit of a niche operator. 9-9 could look to help clear utility. But more critically, probably, hold down long lines of sight and maybe make a rotation or two more challenging here for Bleed.
Well, if you've just tuned in, it's basically been 1-for-1 the entire way through. None of these two have been able to really get, say, 2 rounds in a row, get that semblance of a snowball going. First one to do so, I think, may just take off and get this game under their belt. Good opportunity now for Fury to try and find a second round, really put Bleed to the sword. Dark just trying to play off of the hat-tricking from BG Man as they open up Kennels. So one over towards Rafters, 4 Bleed spotted. Of course, it is Turd on the Azami. Icolas' job to do. Reaps, big kill. One in towards Oil Pit as well. That's Leader with a Nitrocell. Icolas will need to be careful if he makes his way in. Leader maybe anticipating the flank, but Turdstar and Leader, the communication here is going to be absolutely pivotal that they can get this Nitrocell to eliminate Lycolis.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, we'll see if Leader can find value. He is likely going to be the biggest threat onto that shield if he's able to time the Nitro well. Requires good communication and synergy though with Turd. He's trying his best to stay alive. Has achieved that so far. Kali
They're
Lance
worried about
used,
barbed wire right now.
but Rips is good for 2. It's also Crit J on the ground. So Fury are finding it quite difficult to center this push around the Monty and get control over towards Garage, and also things are falling apart.
Yeah, Lycolis hasn't really been able to step inside of Garage at all. Firstly, needed to call over Iron 9, help deal with the barbed wire. Now try and help deal with Turd up above. Knowing full well he'll likely peek this, a chance to maybe try and take his head off. Still no movement from Leader, who actually has gotten out of Oil Pit, so he's no longer there to try and help out Turd. He does get the kill anyway onto Iron 9. It's a shocking round here from Fury. I mean, just completely inoffensive at all. Never really even offered a shot or a punch. Could barely get inside of Garage. Well played from Turd. Controlled Rafters really nicely. Had a little bit of help from Leader in Oil Pit, but he eventually did fall back. And yeah, that was really all too comfortable for Bleed. And we continue with this 1-for-1 back and forth between these two, neither of which feeling capable of any kind of momentum. There's not much separating these two teams, Gus. There really isn't. You go to the power rankings, and I think yours was like 8.9 to like 8.8 or something ridiculous. And you look at a game like this, and these two teams are basically identical.
Yeah, Fury with some
Protect your bombs from being
weird
defused by
decisions
attackers.
composition-wise in that last round, though. I can kind of understand the Kali, but you got really limited value from that. I understand that Grim spam, but typically teams would bring the Kappa Tau then in exchange for that to pressure Rafters' position. Turd did great. He hit all the shots, you know, required of him in that round, but there was never any serious pressure on his position. He didn't have anything to flame him out. There was nobody lurking down below to maybe try and catch Leader. It was really sloppy there from Fury. And that's, again, on a map like Club, clearing Rafters is a fundamental task that
10 seconds
teams should have a really good grasp, especially at this level, of how to achieve, or if it's not quite going to plan, what's their backup option. Fury's backup option was to just sit back behind a Monty shield with a Kali and hope that a sniper shot got hit. Like, I don't know, it seemed like a pretty far-fetched idea. one that was pretty low calculated against a team like Bleed. Either way though, basement we go. And the Deimos is once again in play here from I9. As you can see though, in terms of defender player positions, everybody from Bleed is in basement. So no roam being employed, and Critchay takes that as an opportunity alongside Dark for quick map control.
Yeah, I mean, if they bring in the Deimos, there's just no point. You know, you saw what happened with Reeps last time out, stuck second floor, death marked. As soon as he tried to come down, I9 basically said, I'm just going to lock onto him. I know he's going to come from main.
Activating drone.
Reeps was completely ineffective. Like, you kind of actually think about it from the sense that you had Reeps stuck top floor doing nothing. Now you essentially upgrade to a Reeps that's on Warden stuck basement. I mean, that is a huge, huge upgrade. They're just going to completely bunk it down as well with the castle barricades and say to Fury, yeah, let's just see if you can hit us. We're going to sit 5 on site, hold all angles. There's a lot of work for Fury to be done. It's going to put a lot of emphasis, I think, on Critchay, on the buck, getting into kitchen, opening up the floorboards, eventually then looking for someone to get a kill from above to help facilitate the offense when they do hit site. Saw the Valk cam as well that's in kitchen, so Turks, they're getting some information.
And pretty aggro deployable shield here, facing towards triple as well. I like the setup from Bleed. Fury now, Secretary Hard Breach, help open up the moto hatch. Frag grenade for the castle barricade. We'll see how Bleed responds to this initial part of the push. Fury could opt to go for, again, a kitchen drop and keep it a little bit more slot standard.
Yes, this is late though for the block of Critchay in towards kitchen. There's not a lot of this floorboard really opened up. A lot of hatch watching. We saw that with I9 over towards stock earlier as well, looking down the hatch. They haven't really done a lot. I mean, for a round in which Bleed have offered nothing above, 40 seconds left, I don't know if they've done enough with the time that they've been given by Bleed. Fury just look a little bit lackluster in this round. It's going to have to be that old classic 20-second drop, hit site, clear out these positions. I don't know how you're going to do it. There's a lot of positions that do need to be cleared. Reeps in the best position on the Warden with the glasses active at the back of Arsenal. You got the smoke inside of Dirt as well. There's a lot of angles that need to be covered right now for Fury on the push with 15 seconds remaining. Still, 2 players low on health, especially like Hollis. I mean, you could blow some air on him. He's going to fall over with the kit as well in the back pocket. Dark, though, does get the opening kill. Reeps will fall. That's the Warden off the board. Half and Leader, both engagements, but Leader with a double. The SMG-11 always stands strong in the engagement as it's flying around on site. Bleed, 2 in a row for what feels like the first time in this match. And they will take the advantage as well.
Yeah, the timing there from Fury let them down. The Capitao over towards blue, then got stalled out by the smoke canister. It meant that that push was a challenge. And after like Hollis fell, it was then difficult to get ground over towards main, and the hatch shop wasn't really viable because, again, the blue players were locked off. It meant that so many parts of the attack were disjointed. If they had maybe another 5-10 seconds to recuperate, they probably could have still pulled something off. Maybe overwhelm that triple wall position, go for plan if they cleared Turd, but he stayed alive. The rest of the team did a good job. And Bleed not having to do anything overly extravagant to stall out that time, so credit to them. A good conversion.
Attackers have located a bomb.
That now comes, for many teams, the most challenging site in the game. Well, not in the game, but on club rather, to defend. Outside of maybe a bar. It is, of course, Cash and CCTV has fallen out of favor a little bit. So we'll see what Fury bring this time around. Last time, again, we saw the Kali and the Monty combo to try and clear rafters. They'll bring it once more. So no Capitao. Again, I'll reiterate, I'm not a massive fan of this composition, but we'll see how they play around it this time.
Small Xenox fun fact for you guys. A little bit of a reach to it. Just a minor reach, but we looked at stage 1 last year. Fury, when they kick-started their campaign, lost to Shalita in overtime. Subsequently, then lost to Bleed the week after. Or the play day after, I should say. Well, stage 2, as we know, last week, lost to No Cap in overtime, formerly Shalita. Could they very well lose to Bleed once again the play day after? Just saying, putting it out there.
And then make
History
the grand
repeats itself. Well,
then
make the grand final
anyway.
and then not make the major. Yeah.
Well, maybe
The
not the
rest of-
major.
The rest to
Oh.
be still written, Gus. I haven't got that much control over the future. All I'm saying is they need to, rewrite history a little bit right now. Big couple of rounds coming up. You're on the attack, so you haven't quite got the opportunity to be given this. You got to fight for it. Be a lot better, certainly on the entry. Lead defense here. Win this round. I'll tell you what, I think they're going to win the map. So this is huge. Okay. Summit barrier dealt with by the frag. Grenade. Another one coming your way, Turd. Slight little panic moment. Maybe a chance to fire back towards I9. Hoven gets a kill. Lead is still in oil pit. And like the last time out, Lycolis is just unable to really move forward. They're just, oh, here we go. Crit J switched on. Is Leader switched on, though? It seems he very well may be. 90 seconds left, and this could change the round, and it does. Huge. Leader gets the kill onto Crit J, and up above in Garage, Turdster was able to win his fight as well. The Nitrocell falls short of Lycolis, but the damage has well and truly been done in this round. Prepare that scoreboard and put the 6 next to Bleed.
Oh, it's just the Monty standing now. Fury go for the same attack, and it's an even worse result. They need to put that strategy in the bin. It is horrible. It is horrible. The Kali gets no value. They had 2 frag grenades to dislodge that position and still didn't clear Turd once he was forced out. The Monty never got in a position to apply pressure. That's a little bit early for the victory graphic, but honestly, at this point in time, Fury are in the mud. They are facing a 3-round loss streak, and the momentum has been well and truly snatched by Bleed in this match.
I think that particular site being attacked by Fury in the manner in which they've been playing it is like a black stain on this match. Wholeheartedly. Just clearly not understanding the way they want to attack it and how they want to play off it. Even here from Lycolis as we watch it, it's just like, like when a kid gets a controller and they're just moving around the joystick. There's no thought. There's no clear, concise plan. At this point, of course, the round's over as he makes his way up towards Rafters, but... Well, Fury now have got themselves on the back foot. We know they can play better than that, guys. That site, that attacking plan has proven to be the difference maker in this match. I'm not like walking away from this best of one and being like, oh, well, Bleed is so much better, yada, yada, yada. It's clear they've got something to work on. Or it's clear they've got something to avoid. As you said, just take that strategy and put it in the bin. There's no need to try and replicate that again, ever again, in future. So we're at the point in the season, though, where I guess you kind of like bring this stuff out, try it, and then it doesn't work. We'll never see it again, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm all for experimentation, but I can't help but feel
It's like production's like, you know what? These are the guys. Everyone watch them. Everyone look at them. Point at them. Bad Fury. Bad. There we go.
Surely they scrimmed that strat against competent teams and it didn't work. Or maybe it did and it gave them false confidence. I can't really explain it, but
5 seconds to go.
once was more than enough for me to see that that was just not great. Either that or their execution of said strategy was just really off tonight, but there is a reason Capitao is a staple there, and you bring other belts of util to clear that position. Like, it's just, it's Clubhouse 101, and this is a map where against a competent team, a really good team like Bleed, you screw up a fundamental or two, rounds are going to unravel, and that's why this round streak is accumulated. But to look at it from a more positive light, Bleed are remaining very, competent in this match. They're not letting these opportunities slide. Turd's got himself back into the server as well tonight, which is good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't want to rain on Turd's parade, but I think he's got like 90% of his kills from the Fury Monty strat in Garage. He just happens to be the Rafters player, but as you said, that's right. You still got to hit those shots.
You are the key player on that whole defense, so...
You are. You got a big responsibility. It's not easy as you get pressured. Mentalist is going to allow Jacuzzi to get opened up, but he's putting emphasis on making sure that Bathroom may not get opened up. Still one shock wire battery available. So Gym Bedroom match point. It was 7-4 in stage 1. Will it be 7-4 in stage 2? Last time out, that was on Skyscraper. Now, vastly different map, I guess, but looks like the scoreline the same nevertheless. Pop.
Midway point of the round then. Fury under the pump. Bleed have taken a stranglehold over the momentum in this match for a game that was rather to and fro for the most part. Capital this time in play. Still 1 flame, 2 smokes up. So Crit J will be important in the late round.
Do you remember that
Where?
time I called Fury of Fury on the global stage? Man,
I don't remember that, no.
poor
But
Fury.
they're not quite on the same level.
No, not quite.
Oh, that's...
That's not going to work. I haven't even cleared
Mental's
out
took
Leader over towards Bar as well, as Dark's making his way up main. Surely Leader's going to get on the move as well. Are they even
Oh
aware of
my
his
God.
position up here and towards Logistics? Just
Oh,
walking
no.
around the corner, spraying, praying. Prayers, though, answered. But not for Fury as a team. Despite Dark getting that one singular kill, it does not matter. Bleed, far and away, more impressive than their opponents. This was thought to be a battle of 2 titans in the end. It was a total beatdown. Bleed, far too good as they find their 3rd win in a row to start the stage.
Yeah, Bleed
That's-
able to run away
there we
with
go.
that one. Yeah, definitely the victors in this match. It was so close up until that final portion of the match. The last 4 rounds, Bleed just absolutely wiping the floor. And for Fury, you know, I think it's going to be a bit of a wake-up call for them. That maybe the gap between the 2 teams has in fact widened. I'm certainly going to be readjusting my power rankings after this evening. It doesn't necessarily change my mind or my thought process that Fury are a top 2 team, but perhaps
You just shuffled.
has been a bit
I know you had
enlightening
Fury.
that the gap has widened. Again, fully expecting
Yeah.
both teams to probably make the grand final. That's just the nature of the league, but certainly concerning for Fury. The way in which they lost this game to me is far more important than just the scoreline.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it back to the desk. And have I ever felt the need to just say, Pengu, I want your thoughts in particular?
Okay. You know what? How about I do one better? You two enjoy this segment.
Very disappointing, James. No,
Hello.
I mean, we hyped it up. It was the 2 Titans. It
I'm
was
ready for the
everything, and then the
interview.
result is just like, what is going on between these 2 teams? They just don't know how to attack from either side.
That was tough. That was really rough to watch for Fury. Just like the storylining come
can't
into
hear
it,
them, by
Dev.
the
There
way.
was such a strong case for
okay.
this to be such a close matchup, for this to even go Fury's way, and maybe even convincingly so. Like there was an argument to be had there that this could have been Fury through and through. They just never felt like they were running in that second half, or maybe outside of maybe their first attacking round.
Hello.
Mm.
Interview waiting room. There's a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Dev, apparently we've
Yeah.
lost you. So
F
thank
for
you, Dev. That's some fantastic insight there, my friend. Pengu, probably doubling down on the conversation without going a little too deep into the
Yeah.
Fury camp and the for me, I'm upset just because I know what Fury are capable of. Where was
Yeah.
it that you felt like it went wrong?
The big area where I think it really fell apart was that they would pick powerful operators like the Monty and not ever get to utilize the operator or show us like what the idea behind it was. The benefit that we have as viewers of the game is that we have this top-down, no stress, no pressure situation where we can just sit there and go, okay, does this make sense to us or does it not? When you looked at Fury on the attacking side, I didn't really understand what the bigger picture was and what they wanted to accomplish. And then you watch the actual outcome of the round, and I don't think they really knew either, because they never quite made it into the building, they never got anything going for them, and all Bleed had to do was stand still like a sentry turret and just take really easy gunfights, and then they would just win the rounds.
Dev, let's can
I
Dev,
back?
can I get a test 1, 2, 3 for me? Just say test 1, 2, 3.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Yes, we do have you back.
It's working.
Dev, look, we were just kind of talking about, Pengu was just, mentioning the fact that we never really got to see the full fruition of what they were cooking. And maybe sometimes the cooking is not that good. I mean,
talking
like,
about
if
the
you let
Kali?
me cook in a kitchen, it's... we were talking about the Kali, the Monty, just
Yeah.
like we never got to fully
There was
see
no
what
cooking.
the extent. There was.
There was no cooking with the Kali and the Monty. No, it's like, when little kids, you get them like that play set with like a stovetop, but it's all
Oh,
plastic. It doesn't actually
no.
turn on. That's what Fury were trying to cook with. It didn't work, man. Like, I don't know what you're trying to pull off with Kali against Rafters, but I just don't see the vision. I don't see the passion. I don't see the aggression. And that's just all you need to see from Fury. So, yeah, I want to see a bit more from them on that one. In the end, Bleed did turn it up, and I didn't think they
Yes.
would, so I got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, turning the discussion to the camp of Bleed here, Pengu, expecting this game to have been a lot closer than it was, outside of, any kind of third-party discussion about Fury. Did you see enough from Bleed here to convince us that, that they are the undoubtable best in the league at the moment?
It's hard to say because I think today's match was more about what Fury they were failing to do more than what Bleed they were doing well. Bleed on the attack and side actually failed to accomplish some of the basic fundamentals. They did not do a good job on being quick enough on the attack and side, and half the time they would fail to open up one of the crucial breaches, whether it's like CC wall or kitchen edge on a base with attack, for example. But Bleed on the defensive side, I think they did a great job of figuring out what Fury wanted to do and then shut it down. So for going forward for the rest of the stage, I wanted to see Bleed focus on their attacking side and fix those couple of small issues. And if they can do that and maintain their current strength on defense, then they will be the strongest team, I think, in Asia League, so far at least.
All right, well, I think it might be time for us to welcome in our interviewee. I'm not entirely sure who we're talking to here until I see...
Hey.
Fantastic. It's just the man, the GOAT himself. Can you hear us? Oh, he's coming in now.
Hello?
Julio, can you hear us,
Hello?
my friend?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Julio, look, a convincing performance in the second half there from Bleed. There were moments where maybe in the first half we were left wondering, but overall, this is the performance that I think most of us had hoped for. How did it feel like inside of the server, at least from the perspective of behind the seat?
I think everything went perfect. I think we got the map we wanted. I think they were not. They wanted to play border because they lost against us on last qualifiers, and then they prepared, and then we prepared club, and then we played club, so it was really good. And everything went really well. Like some rounds we lost is because they're actually really good. Like mechanically, like they won some rounds that they shouldn't. So props to them. But besides that, we pulled the rhythm. We play our game compared to the last club we played because we played them on qualifiers. We lost, but we knew we lost ourselves. We got in the nerves first map, and now we prep again, and then we know that we will win if we play our game.
Yeah, Julia, I wanted to ask about the roster and how you guys have been going with the changes. Obviously, last stage, it was a very different look that you guys had on the roster. Then for EWC, you made some changes. And there was this thing that's kind of confused us publicly about Turdster moving off the active roster and back onto the active roster. Maybe you could speak a little bit about the roster process and your outlook, your opinion as the coach pulling the strings.
I think SP left, and we got leader. He's really good. He helps his strats. He's a really good player as well. With third is more like shake him up, like, okay, if you don't like improve more, if you don't get better every day, we might drop you next season. But it was more like a warning, but we wanted to, like for him to improve, but we like him and we want him to improve and we don't want to kick him, so we did that. But yeah, basically like this. And yeah, with leader addition is really good as well. He's fits perfectly into our play style. He's like kind of aggressive as well, but as a support helps with Pet. They're like splitting up between the comms. Like one guy focuses more on attack, the other guy on defense. They help each other, so it's really good.
Nice. Nice to see you, Julio, first of all. Secondly,
Welcome.
on the defensive side of of Clubhouse, it seemed like you guys had a very simple plan of simply fighting your opponent. For example, you're playing gym defense, you're playing catwalk rafters, you're playing CCTV. Was that the plan, when you saw Clubhouse before the first defense round happened? Or is that a call that was made, in the server where maybe someone like Leader said, guys, they struggle at problem solving, let's try and hard hold this area? Was it on the fly, or was it prep work?
We prepped it because last time we played club against them, we let them execute. We were like so scared, and now it was two things. Okay, let's play more aggro. That is actually our game. It's not like we don't know how to play like this. And second, because we didn't know they had such problems when we play aggro like this, so it's gonna be really good for the future. They have to improve that, but you might change it back. We do fallback, so it's the mind
Yeah.
game is really good for the playoffs.
Now,
I fully agree.
just very
Sorry, you
quickly,
go, Manny.
Julio. No, it's my fault. Julio, just very quickly. I wanted to actually, Pengu. Let me say this. Pengu, was your question this game?
Sorry, what was that? Was what?
Did you have another question for Julio for this game?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Well, then I'll hold off there. Julia, one question I do want to ask is obviously we didn't get to talk to you last week against with the Hasib Warriors game. I wanted to know inside the server, from everything that we could see, just sitting on the desk, where was that sitting? Because it did look like there was a fair amount of struggle on Cafe.
I think Hazib is really good on Cafe. They beat the Lumina on qualifiers and wanted to test ourselves, but I think it's some problems we had last season that we fixed it. But yeah, it was 3-3. We wanted to play. I think I want to scream against them like Cafe just to see how it is. But like it was like Mira and Azami Ben, so I think our attacks would be fine. But yeah, they were playing really well. It's a good map for them. But against these teams, we want to prove ourselves as well. Like there's some maps we want to prove, and the best way to do it is in this phase of the tournament, not on playoffs. And one last thing, someone play layer against us, please. We want to see if our layer is good, and everyone is freaking scared. Let's just play, guys. You guys are so scared about the map. It's fun.
That's great. Well, there's a call out for any team looking to play. Julia, anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Thank you guys very much. We are like doing a lot of work. Things are going well inside the game, outside the game, and everything's good. We have a leader now, Linda now, so the prep is better. Overall, is really good. So thank you everyone cheering for us, and yeah, we just like most of these matches we win because we're just having fun. I think even that we qualified to all the tournaments, the other teams are more pressured than us because they don't qualify, so they're like, oh, this is our time now. And then for us, if you don't qualify, it's fine. We go next, and yeah, I think mentally it's good as well. Everything's good.
That's fantastic to hear, mate. Look, we'll leave you to it, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you tomorrow night. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Honestly, that's like I couldn't have asked for much of a better final statement from Julio and the entire Bleed roster. I think that's really good signs heading into the rest of the stage, Pengu.
No, I think so as well. And Julio kind of said it too about Turd, right, in the roster changes where we wanted to apply some pressure underneath him and like light a fire and say, hey, you gotta fight for your spot, you gotta perform. So it's not so much that they don't want to keep him. He said they like him a lot, actually, in fact, but just make sure everybody's on their toes. And yeah, Turd actually ended up being the leading player, also playing Asami on Catwalk Rafters, like 3 out of their, 5 rounds or whatever. So he was given a responsibility on defense, and he actually really showed up and proved himself.
I mean, you couldn't ask for much more there, Dev. That's completely flipped the storyline.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say it would be interesting to see Turdster in positions where he's not being fed by quite a poor attack. Not to discredit him, like he played the positions well. I still think that it was a really bad call from Fury to be attacking the rafters with Kali Monty in the way that they did. But it's great for Turd. Like this is a huge game for him because I know going into that he was like, oh, I'm sick, or this drama. So he's had a big one. That's probably huge for the ego, and probably helpful for him when he's been in a position where last week or in the season so far he hasn't been looking great. So good for him. I personally just loved hearing from Julio. I think it's always great not only to get a coach, but to get a coach, a world champion. By the way, 2 world champions in the same interview, one on either side. That's always nice. And getting Julio's perspective on the roster change and the moves that the team's gone through, and also the pressure or lack thereof that Bleed are feeling right now. I think most people look at Bleed and say, yeah, they are the best team in Asia. They've proven that. But there's still a lot of pressure on them to perform. They've picked up a European player. They've picked up a Brazilian coach. You expect that they have to perform because of that. But Julio sincerely said, we don't, if we fail to qualify for an event, no pressure. We'll make the next one. I think that's such a healthy attitude to have.
That's probably the first time I think that might be the first time I've ever heard any coach or player say that. I don't think I've ever heard a coach go so relaxed in the moment, and I think that might be an indication of things to come. Speaking of things to come, we've got Rival, and they take up Knock Knock after this.